Hello my loves. Today I want to talk to you about 66 Books, which is a place that I feel like is talked about an awful lot online, maybe more so on TikTok than YouTube. I haven't seen quite as many people mention it here, and usually it's people sort of talking about going there and all of the books they bought and all the money that they saved. I had the absolute pleasure of going recently. I've wanted to go for a really long time and I was finally able to, because you can't really find out much information online, and a lot of people's content that I've seen anyway, I might be completely wrong, but a lot of it is mainly hauls. I just wanted to share a little bit more about the experience of actually going, what to expect if you do go, and explain how much I paid versus how much I would have had I bought these books at standard retailers. In case you're unaware, 66 Books is a trade warehouse which supplies books to other stores. It's not generally open to the public aside from a select few weekends, usually every month. Between 1 to 2 weekends a month. Sometimes they add extra weekends. They will allow anyone to go in and buy books at wholesale price, which is listed on their website as 70% off the recommended retail price, aka what you would pay if you were to go pick up in like Waterstones or Smiths or something like that. Because it is a trade business rather than a retailer, you can't like go and shop online. There's no stock list or anything like that. What they have in their warehouse is what they have, and they will have their orders from different retailers that they will supply to, but you can't like check in advance what books they have or anything like that, or really see much about what to expect when you go there from their website or their Facebook, because they are, for all intents and purposes, a supplier rather than somewhere you can just go whenever you want to buy cheap books. All of the weekends that they will be open to the public are on their website. I believe they're probably also on their Facebook as well, but there's quite an easy list to access on their website. In order to be able to go, you need to become like a member of their book club, which essentially just means when you get there, you scan a QR code and you like register, and then you pay, I think, like £2 a year, and then you can go as many weekends as you want within that year without having to re-register as part of the book club. And it basically gives you access, to the warehouse, to all the books they have at that time when you go, and enables you to purchase from them. But yeah, just make sure you check the website for when they're open, what weekends they're open, so that you don't like, turn up on a day they're not operating in that way and they're just doing trade business and you're not allowed to get in. So just a few tips or things that might be good for you to know before you go if you're planning to and it's your first time going. I would not have known any of these things had I not gone with people who had already been to 66 Books before, and some of these I just picked up while I was there. Firstly, either go early or be prepared to queue for a while. I believe they open at like 8 or 9. People will obviously get there early to try and be like the first ones in. The later you leave it, the longer the queue becomes. When we left, I think it was like maybe 11 in the morning. It really wasn't late, and the queue was massive, both of people standing outside and also cars waiting to come into park so they could join the queue. I believe they do frequently update their Facebook page with like estimates of how long the queue is at that point. And I think when we'd gone to sit down to eat after shopping, so maybe around 11, the queue was estimated to be about 3 hours. You don't have to get there super early, but if you are gonna go like later in the day, just be prepared that you will probably have to wait a while before you get in. So bring some things for you to do, have friends with you to talk to, make sure you bring drinks and food so you're not just standing there like dehydrated and starving in the queue, because it might be a while before you can actually get in. And then in addition to that, you might have to queue for a while, but also be prepared for a long shopping experience. It is a trade warehouse, which means it is not laid out in the way a standard bookshop would be. So there's no genre sections, for example. Things aren't organized A to Z by author. Just things are everywhere. There are some sections in that, like the children's books are sectioned off from everything else, and within that there's some YA books as well. But otherwise, it's just that, fiction, and then general non-fiction with a few fiction books occasionally interspersed in that. You can't go in there expecting to just be able to be like, oh, I want this specific book, so I'll go to this place and that's where it'll be. because it won't be. You will need to look through everything, every aisle, every shelf, if you're specifically looking for something and are hoping it's there and want to find it. It's across like 2 floors, quite big floors, and the shelves are packed in tight. There is like barely enough room for 2 people to cross paths in the aisles of the shelves, so they are like crammed in there. There's a lot of books in there. It can feel a little bit overwhelming or stressful, but everyone when I was there was generally really nice and very, you know, respectful and accommodating of each other, so it didn't feel as overwhelming as I was expecting it to. But just be prepared, you're going to be in there for a while. If you want to look at everything, if you want to try and get the most out of your shopping experience, you're going to want to look at every single aisle, and that will take some time. Linked to that, because you might be queuing for a while, because you're going to be in there for a while, please get enough sleep beforehand. Eat a substantial meal before you go, and make sure you are hydrated. I did none of these things before I went. We did go quite early, and we live like a quite a decent drive away from it. So we left really early, and me and my friend decided it would be a great idea to just not sleep the night before, because we felt we'd feel more tired if we got like, I don't know, 5 hours sleep versus not sleeping at all. So I hadn't eaten anything. I had been up for like over 24 hours by the time we got there, and was literally just functioning off coffee. I'd been drinking coffee throughout the night, and then we grabbed Starbucks just before we went. I like managed it, but I was flagging about halfway through looking at everything, and probably couldn't concentrate or pay as much attention to everything as I would have liked. I probably would have picked up more books had I actually, like, you know, been more of a functioning human being and had enough sleep and had like enough energy to be looking at things. Yeah, just make sure you're prepared for the long day that it is and the concentration required to look through everything, because I was not, and I kind of regretted it. If I go again, which I would really like to, I will definitely sleep before and eat some form of breakfast before going. I would really, really recommend that you do that. And finally, if the idea of going somewhere where you have no idea what books they're gonna have overwhelms you like it did me, it can be helpful to maybe have like a bit of a list of the kind of things you're looking out for before you go. Just be aware that you may not actually find anything on that list. They just have what they have. Stocks change in there, I would imagine, very frequently. On their website, I'm pretty sure it says they like specialize in like remaining stock or clearance from other places. So what they have is going to change quite a lot, and it doesn't matter how popular a book that you want is, they might not have it. None of the like really popular books that I was thinking I might see in there, I don't think I saw any of them. Honestly, I don't think I saw any books that are really like popular or big in like, you know, online book communities. It's helpful to have a list to like focus you and maybe make you feel less overwhelmed, because then as you're looking through everything, you can think, I am looking for this specific book, and if you then see additional other things, you can obviously pick them up. However, just bear in mind that list may go out the window very, very quickly. I had a very small list. I think I had like 3 things on it, and I only found one of those books. The others were not in sight. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Tips for while you're there. I've said it already, look at everything. There are so many books in there, so many, and it can feel like a lot to look at every single one, especially because the shelves are really high. There's like little stools in each aisle so that you can like reach top shelves, and I still had to get my friend and some random dude to get a book from the top shelf for me because I was too small to reach back onto the top shelf. You know, they're big shelves, they're packed in there. Look at everything. There might be things you'd never thought of picking up that you see in there, and it's 70% off, so you get it anyway. One of the books I got is a massive hardback. I would have never bought that if I'd seen it in like Waterstones, because it would have been like 20 quid, and I'd never really heard of the book before, wasn't that interested in it, but I was like, it's 70% off, so I'm gonna get it anyway. Secondly, this may seem like a really silly thing to say, but get a basket on your way in. I considered not getting one, and I'm very glad I did, because I would not have been able to carry around all of those books. I don't even buy that many, but I would not have been able to carry around all of those books and continue looking at other things had I not picked one up. So just grab a basket. If you only get 2 books, you only get 2 books, but it's just get one. make your life and your shopping experience easier. If there is a specific book that you're looking for and you feel like you've looked everywhere, you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, ask other people if they've seen it. Everyone else that we came across in there was so nice and so helpful. People were asking each other, oh, have you seen so and so? We're like trying to help each other find things. I just happened to mention that I was looking for a specific book, and this guy was just like, oh, it's right here, here you go. Just pulled it off the top shelf for me, which was really helpful. There's no like staff to help you in there. I mean, like, just ask other people who were also shopping, because everyone was really nice. Everyone's just massive book nerds looking for books at really good prices. So just help each other out, which leads me on to my next point of like, be respectful. The aisles are really, really thin, and you know, everyone's trying to look. Just have some patience if people are looking at things, if it feels like it's moving slowly through the aisles, because there's probably a whole group of people ahead, you know, trying to move through the warehouse, and people aren't deliberately slowing things down. They're not deliberately getting in the way. You just kind of all have to work together and try and move around each other as best as you can. Be patient with other people, be kind, be helpful, all of that. I feel like I don't need to tell people that, but you know, you never know. So just be nice to each other. And finally, have fun. It feels like this like big, stressful, need to be really organized experience when I explain like certain things there, but at the end of the day, you are just in a big warehouse with a lot of books that are really cheap. Like, just have fun, just pick stuff up, look at it, chat with your friends about things, and you know, buy some books for an absolute bargain. Like, just have a good time. If you're interested, here is my little haul of what I did get. I'm not going to go into huge amounts of detail of why I bought each book or anything like that, because this wasn't really supposed to be a haul. It was more just supposed to be like, you know, a general discussion on 66 books and what it's like and what to expect. I can't guarantee that any of these books will be there if you do go there. This is just what was there when I went and that I decided to pick up. So firstly, two very small little classics. I don't know how to pronounce this author's name. I'm really sorry. I have googled it quite a few times and I'm really not sure how to pronounce it. So this guy, quite a big deal as far as I know. I have a couple of his, again, like shorter works on my Kindle. I haven't read any of them yet, but I have heard good things about them and I really want to read them. And I saw these two and were like, why not? They're really small, and I love a short classic because you can just sit down and get through them quite quickly, but usually they still make you think, or it's like a nice little reflective time. So I'm hoping that's what these will be. So this is A Happy Death and The Outsider, both super short. Not the biggest fan of this cover, honestly, or like I'm just not a fan of how shiny it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading these, and again, I would not have picked these up had I not gone there and seen them. So, and then another short little classic by a different author. This is Demian, I think. Yeah, this is Demian by Hermann Hesse. Someone, I can't remember who, for the life of me. If it was you, tell me. But someone told me either they were gonna start reading this book or they were like interested in it, and then I looked into it and was like, oh, that does sound interesting. So I put it on my TBR like literally like a month ago, and then I just happened to see it in there. I'd kind of forgotten about it, but I was like, oh yeah, I'd been considering reading that, so I got it. And then I did not intend to get this many Franz Kafka books, but they were just all in the same place, so I just got all of them because they were so cheap. The one book that I had wanted when I went in there was The Metamorphosis, because I don't have a physical copy of it. I just read it on my Kindle and I loved that book. Ironically, like a week after going, I found a really nice little hardback edition in TK Maxx, which I also bought. But this one that I got, where is it? This one that I picked up when I went to 66 Books isn't just The Metamorphosis. This does also have a few other short stories in it, so I'm okay with buying it twice. I went from having no copies of it to having 2 copies of it, so that's fine. I also got The Castle and The Trial. I do have The Trial on my Kindle, but I really hated the formatting of it. Unfortunately, I've looked at this and the formatting is the exact same. So I'm assuming this is just Franz being Franz and like not finishing things properly. I'll just have to like bear through the bad formatting on it, I think, because that was like going to be my next thing that I read from him. And then yeah, I also got The Castle. Don't really know as much about this, but it was there, and I like Franz Kafka, so I bought it. Then finally I also got Letters to Milena. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that name. I'm not 100% sure. I'm definitely interested in reading more of his like letters and diaries and stuff, and I saw this and was like, oh my god, I have never seen a physical copy of those before. Just like in a shop. Obviously it's not shop, but yeah, definitely I will be getting that. So gone from having no physical copies from any of his works to having multiple. So that was successful. It was completely unintentional, but successful. The next book is a collection of shorter classics, and these are all haunted house, spooky classics, which I thought was just perfect, seeing as, you know, we're now in September, it's coming into autumn, October's gonna be soon. Collection of little gothic, creepy, haunted house stories. It seemed perfect. Variety of different authors in here. Edgar Allan Poe, Oscar Wilde, Bram Stoker, which is actually what convinced me. Oh yeah, it had the other wallpaper in here, which I have already read, but I really liked that, so that's again nice that I have that in a physical version. It has a lot of different just short little creepy stories, which I always like, especially things like this you can just like dip into and like read one and then come back to. And then finally, this is the massive hardback that I would have never bought because recommended retail is £19, but this is Our Share of Night, which I had not heard of. I knew not a single thing about, but it looked quite nice, and I think it has vampires in it. Someone said that when I was in there. I can't remember who said it. They mentioned vampires and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll have it then. So that's literally the only reason I bought this. I'm not really gonna look into it anymore. I'll just read it when I get to it and be surprised. That is everything I got. Like I said, not a huge amount, but still I'm quite happy with my purchases. I can't remember exactly how much I paid because I've lost the receipt, but I think they said at the checkout, because they like tell you how much you would have spent or like how much they're worth, and I think they said it would have been like 100 and something pounds, you know, if they were all recommended retail price, but I think I spent like 30 quid, 31, 32 pounds. It wasn't more than 35. I don't know why I'm being so specific. So a significant saving. Regardless, that is everything I got. I think that's all the tips I have for you. If you are considering going on one of the weekends that they're open, I would really recommend it. It was definitely worth it. Definitely good opportunity to add some more books to your collection without spending loads of money. If there's anything you're interested in knowing that I haven't covered, please do let me know. I might not be able to answer everything, but I will try my best. I will definitely be going again at some point in the future. I don't know when because it relies on other people driving me because I can't drive, but I will definitely go at some point in the future. That is all I have for you today, so I hope wherever you are, you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.